Hello, my name is Sherin, and today I will be conducting a media review on an article from the website The Conversation. This article explores the claim that TikTok, which is a short video hosting service, is educating the population about trauma and suggesting interventions for cure. This article is linked to Module 2, which it comes under biological psychology, or otherwise known as neuroscience. Within this module, it discusses that brains can change, grow, and adapt in responses to our experiences, which therefore will influence our current behaviors. The selected article discusses the symptoms of trauma and the suggested interventions for PTSD. I'm using the CARS framework by North Hennepin Community College. This article will be thoroughly examined and a conclusion will be made regarding its credibility, accuracy, reasonableness, and support. The indicators for and against for credibility are examined, and an overall score of 4 out of 5 is provided for this section. When looking at the indicators for credibility, the author, as you can see over here, Arash, is a psychiatrist and serves as the director of the Stress, Trauma and Anxiety Research Clinic, or known as STARC. He attended the Medical University in Mashhad and completed his residency in University of Michigan, as you can see over here. So this is a screenshot taken from the STARC website. He has direct clinical experience as he is heavily involved in treatment of civilians, refugees, and first responders with PTSD. He is also the author of a book called Afraid, which discusses the treatment of trauma, and he has also published 42 other peer-reviewed articles. His work has been featured in various scientific outlets like the Smithsonian, American Psychiatric Association, Society of Biological Psychiatry, among others. He is currently the associate professor in Wayne State University, as you can see over here. With regards to the grammar and spelling of this article, there are no grammatical or spelling errors. The article is presented in sections with headings that makes it easier for the reader. Now looking at the indicators for against, while the author is highly reputable and knowledgeable in his field, the publication of the article shows no evidence of a peer review or editorial process. When looking at accuracy, the indicators for and against considered, this article will receive a score of 2 out of 5. So looking at the indicators for, the article was published on January 24th, 2024 at 12:28 a.m., making it very current. There are many hyperlinks linking statements, claims, and words to external sources. These external sources vary from reputable and reliable sources like journal articles and governmental statistical pages to some questionable sources like Instagram posts or other conversation articles which have not been referenced. Looking at the indicators for against, the evidence to support the against include that there are no reference lists attached, to this article. This means that there are no primary or secondary sources listed. The information presented in this article is not verified, and therefore it means that it cannot be applied or generalized. The author has simply used the knowledge and experience he has and written this piece of work. To be able to use this piece of work, other sources must be considered to validate the information provided. The article written focuses on the idea that the concept of trauma is being inaccurately portrayed in social media. The viewpoint is one-sided, as there are many verified clinicians and medical practitioners who also take to social media outlets to educate. It is not fair to say that all information on social media regarding trauma is inaccurately portrayed. So this image shows the date, and it's a screenshot from the article. These two are different hyperlinks to show that these are some of the reputable sources that have been hyperlinked. And this is a hyperlink to another The Conversation article, which is not a factual or reputable source of information because it does not have a reference list. The indicators for and against for reasonable are examined, and an overall score of 5 is provided for this section for the article. When looking at the indicators for, as previously mentioned, the viewpoint regarding social media and how trauma is portrayed as one-sided. This reveals to the reader what the author's preference is and what his viewpoint on using social media is. The author has still proceeded to present information about trauma, its symptoms, cure, and intervention without any bias. Now, the overall tone of this article is friendly but informative. This is because the author uses everyday language to make it accessible for readers of all ages and of all varying knowledge. When using a clinical term, a hyperlink is provided to show further information if you are interested. The information is provided efficiently with no emotive or figurative language. It is also logical and consistent and uses the same style of writing throughout the article. So as you can see over here, this is an excerpt from the article where the author talks about how trauma is portrayed in social media, showing us what he thinks. This section over here shows us his style of writing, which is that it's informative but also friendly and also easy to understand. Here is an example of what a hyperlink looks like. So if you click on that, it would take you to another page where it gives further information if you are interested. The indicators for and against for support will be examined, and an overall score of 3 out of 5 is provided for this article. When looking at the indicators for, looking at supporting evidence and primary sources and consistency, we know that the information in this article is corroborated. So firstly, the research supports the idea that social media does not provide factual information on any topic, let alone trauma. This is perceivable and quite well heard. Secondly, the notion of trauma is a popular and widely known concept that is supported by a range of current and former professionals and psychologists such as Mary Ainsworth, Bessel van der Kolk, and Dr. Tom Brunzell. This article has external consistency as the information provided by the author is consistent with other cited articles and renowned theories. To support the indicators against, the article was written by Arash, who has not provided a reference list, but has included hyperlinks with the purpose of providing further information. The hyperlinks are all secondary sources. This means that they are less reliable and involve some degree of interpretation. Thank you for listening.